myself
Yeah.
wherever
Not
I want to be.
transportation.
Not I'm still I'm trans.
I wish for a car.
Teleportation.
Your wish has been
The 1992 Taurus.
Your wish has barely been granted. Your Datsun has been granted.
Hey, look, absence of color hand. Color deep.
What were your reactions in Dragon Ball Z when all of a sudden randomly Bulma has Trunks and Vegeta's apparently a parent?
I like that question.
Yeah, what was it like waking up a daddy?
Actually, I experienced the series very similar to the way you guys did, although not in the comfort of my own home, just in small 2-second chunks of it. But when we worked on Dragon Ball, the materials didn't come in as well as we would have liked them to, so we didn't have the entire series, and Funimation did not have access to fan subs and fan dubs that everyone can find now. So kind of some of the end of the series was a bit of a mystery, and we would. I remember I didn't know that Trunks was coming until I guess pretty close to when we recorded it. So yeah, Trunks is always sort of a trip of a character, but we were really lucky in finding Eric Vale to play Trunks, because he kind of came in as sort of a badass right off the top.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was the hardest character to cast.
Yeah, I read for that dude too.
Yeah, so did John Bergmeyer, and a lot of people wanted it, but like Eric kind of just was magical at that moment.
Eric was awesome. I had just worked with Eric a few months before on an independent film, and I was like, oh, okay, you hired the guy that I already knew. That's awesome.
Which one? I think I know which one.
I think it's one of the ones that never came out, which is a lot of them. Have you experienced this as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me to bring this up again.
Okay.
They
shot on film too. They shot on film. And on actual film, and it didn't go to post. They're like, we have 2 more scenes to shoot. I'm like, dude, that was like 14 years ago. You should finish this movie.
Yeah, I have the first movie that I was ever in. I played a high school student, and I'm like almost 30 now, and it still has not come out.
And you still look a high school student. Yeah. That's cool.
We have pickup scenes for you.
Yes.
We are forced to at gunpoint.
Yeah,
You go talk about the stuff we're selling.
Traveling so much, it's just awful.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we get invited.
We crashed this plane.
I said I'm coming, or else you're not having a convention.
Sorry, Cason.
Yeah, getting invited is the awesome way to go, rather than the bring me.
There's only one time I've actually ever solicited a convention to go to it, and it was this one time where I was dating somebody that was from out of town, and I was really not into it anymore, and she was like, I think I should come visit you that weekend. I'm like, I got a convention that weekend, and I got a gig. I can't do that because I have a convention. She's like, oh, okay. Where is it? I'm like, type to animecons.com. Alaska? But then I asked them, and they brought me out there, and it was kind of awesome. That's when I realized, wow, I can go anywhere I want to.
That's so much more cowardly than I'm not into you anymore.
And more complicated.
Yeah, well, we hadn't really dated for very long. Not long enough to justify an
You
explanation.
and Cason, you were kind of doing
Yeah. We hadn't dated for very long. Yeah.
I love Alaska, by the way. It's lovely. What was the question?
We were invited. We answered it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You pick next.
Okay,
pick someone with a hand.
I lost time.
Yeah, pick someone with an actual hand.
I'm going to pick somebody with a flesh-colored hand.
How about the Vulcan symbol?
Yes.
Yes.
You.
Live long and prosper.
This question is actually for Chris Sabat.
You promised. I picked you.
Yes, sorry. You can answer it if you want to.
Honey.
Trying to differentiate your voice from Piccolo, Dragon Ball Z to Zoro. One is trying to differentiate like how their voices sound different, even though it's still kind of
I kind of wish they did sound a little bit different sometimes. But Zoro is closer to what my voice is, and Piccolo is closer to what my voice is really early in the morning, or when I'm extremely angry, or when I'm at a concert and I want to go yeah or whatever. But that's about it.
Yeah, it's kind of a mic question too.
Yeah, whenever Chris comes in to record, I try to keep him in like his speaking voice, or maybe it's just even slightly higher than that, and only dip down into deeper voice when it's like tough action time.
What's awesome about Zoro and working on One Piece, because most of the leads, I think if not all of them, only play that character. That's it. So we're given a lot of range. I mean, I can be as high as I want to in the sessions.
Awesome.
I realized that was coming out, so I just went ahead and let it come out. My voice can be as high as I want, as session or as low. I mean, for the most part, it's like it gives you a lot of freedom to just really just act in there. You don't have to think about what voice am I doing. You just
I think Brina and Colleen have been a couple of the random characters here and there because they have such distinct character voices. But everyone else, like you just mentioned, I only want to keep them on those characters and allow them as much room as possible within that character to voice it. Like Eric, for instance, Eric is probably the most all over the place of the Straw Hats, but it sounds cool that way. It's rather than just being locked into this little, like, this is always what the character will sound like no matter what. I'm giving him freedom to, be more like a person.
A good question, thanks. Wolf, I always like props. Props always work. They're the best.
Cops come and try to take my props.
It's really amazing. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, I have a web series called The Troubadours that we had a Kickstarter campaign for that got funded. And so we've been filming on it.
And not only did it get funded, let them know how much you got funded for, because that's amazing.
It was $25,000. Yeah. So expect it to be awesome.
Yeah, you guys didn't have a garage sale to raise the money for this thing. That's really cool. That's very impressive.
It's really awesome.
Half of that is going to audio post, though, so yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. And Chris is actually helping me with a lot of music on it. Actually, this weekend.
Actually, in 2 hours.
Actually.
How about you?
Right here?
Yes?
Have any of you heard, and if you have, what are your thoughts on the movement to try and bring toonami back?
Toonami! Yes! Do it!
I was not in town the night. I guess it was like the April Fool's joke, right? Where they put the toonami block back on.
That night.
God, I wish I would have saw that. That'd be awesome. I would love it if toonami was back on. I'm sure that everyone up here and everyone in this room would love it. So, like,
definite pro.
give me your thoughts on whether or not there should be free chocolate everywhere at all times. Yes.
Here's some trivia. You know Toonami Tom, right? Steve Bloom. Who played Toonami Tom before Steve Bloom?
Sonny Strait.
Sunny Straight.
The trivia section is now over. Thank you. And moving forward, I'm also pro. Blah blah blah. So, unless you.
No, did anybody else?
No.
You guys all want toonami?
I'd have to be a real jerk to go, nah, I really like it the way it is. Like,
They should put on more really funny live action shows instead.
Yeah.
Because they're really funny.
I just wish they'd play music videos all the time.
Me too.
I see a colored hand. Okay, Cason, there's a huge
Yes.
colored hand in the back. Whoa. It's colored.
There are multiple. Oh my gosh, what's a boy to do? What's a boy to do?
The question has started.
Wow!
With or without you, go! What was your question?
Nice.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I pick up chicks constantly with my voice acting.
She does.
But it's usually with their chopper voice.
It's always with my chopper voice. I'm like, hey, baby, what's going on?
I'm a lesbian.
Yeah, it works great for me too.
Hey, nice rat.
Oh my god.
Still my heart. Let's see. No. But if so, I guess it would be something like, oh, well, perhaps you could be goodly enough to spend some time with Mr. Popo. In the seclusion of your boudoir. Boudoir. And slap to Popo's face.
It's commonly known that I've used my voice to pick up every girl I've ever been with, so that answer to the question is yes.
You lift them off the ground with your voice.
Yes, I do. It's like, do you want to date me? No, I'm not interested. Do you want to date me now? Yes. Yes, I do. How you like me now?
I believe we have time for one last question. We were just given the,
Did you say vocal Rubinol?
I did.
And Sabat shall pick the last question.
Oh, yes! Wow, well, that one's moving frantically, so that means that's very important. Okay.
What would you say is your favorite saga in any of the Dragon Balls? And also, Chris, can you say the balls are inert Zarbon for us?
Yes! Zarbon?
Okay. Favorite saga, Android saga, and
Yes.
The balls are inert. Quite tastily inert.
Oh my god. What is that shit?
Wait, that sounds like...
The Cell games I mentioned earlier, but that's
Yeah,
my
me
favorite
too,
saga as
Saga.
well. Cason.
What favorite saga? Like Frieza saga and what?
The other question was for Chris.
Okay.
To use this voice.
An excuse to say, yes, Frieza saga, and thank you.
Cool. Thanks for coming to the panel, guys. We'll be around all weekend. We hope to see you again.
Yay!